Camera number 304 of 365 is the Zorki 4K. It's pretty much the same as a Zorki 4. The only real difference I can see is the fact that the Zorki 4K, which I'm holding in my hands, has a rewind, not a film advance, beg your pardon, that has an armature, whereas the 4 has a dial that you use instead. Otherwise, the camera is pretty much the same. It has our shutter actuation, and our film speeds go from 1/1000th of a second round to bulb. We have to, if we want to change our film speeds, we have to advance the film first, then we can lift up the dial and rotate accordingly. There is a little collar around the film speeds for times when we want to use flash, in which case we then turn it, I don't know whether you can see that there, there's an X just there. We rotate it around to that when we're using flash. We have our cold shoe, and then our film film rewind crank that has to be lifted up. And in order to disengage the film advance, we have to turn the little collar around the shutter button until it reaches, there's a little red mark, until it reaches around about 11 o'clock, and then that disengages the film advance, so we can rewind our film. Round the rewind crank, that's very difficult to say, is a diopter, very much appreciated as a glasses wearer, so we can change it and make the camera literally ours and for our eyes only. Let's just go to the front. There would be a a self-timer there, but unfortunately that seems to be missing, but otherwise the camera works just fine. One intriguing feature, if you like, of this particular setup is the lens itself. Normally a Jupiter 6 would be common for the 4K, but this particular version has a Zorki 12 lens, which when you do a search on the internet, there's a bit of a love and hate relationship with this lens. It does have a tendency to flare quite easily, apparently, so I don't know whether that's the case. We'll find out when I actually have opportunity to use it. But we unscrew the lens, and one interesting feature about this lens is the way that it protrudes into the film chamber, almost right up to the curtain, so it's very close to the film plane. But we can see the bulbous nature of the lens there, and our apertures are in the inner ring, so we have to, or cone, we have to move that. Not the easiest of things to do. It's did I mention it was an f2.8 35mm lens, and then we focus in the normal fashion. There we go. So that's be interested to see how that lens performs. So we put the lens back on in the normal way, if I can. Oops. Nope, doesn't seem to want to go in for some reason. Right, so I finally got the lens on. The only thing I did was to, I'd forgotten I'd disengaged the film advance. So whether that makes a difference, I'm not sure. Well, it clearly did, because I've now got the lens back on. So, mystery there, I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone can show the reason why that's the case. In the meantime, to open our film chamber, we unlock by lifting the two little arms and rotating, and then we pull the complete back off the camera, and then we can see how close I put it in bulb, which I think it's not quite on yet. Let's put it on bulb. Oh, interesting. Bulb here. There we go. Should be a bulb there. There we go. Hold setting. I didn't advance. Oh, That's a bit naughty. So I didn't advance the film. That's why I was having problems. So there you go. That's the reason why we have to advance the film before we set the shutter speed. But hopefully, yeah, there we go. It didn't work. So let's do it properly. Advance the film. Now change our shutter to B. There we go. And we can now hopefully see how close the lens gets to the film there. There we go. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to set our film, advance our film and then set our shutter speeds. So to put the chamber back on, we put that back. That's right. And then that's on. There we go. Okay, so that's a very brief overview of the Zorki 4K, and that has been camera number 304 of 365.